You can now watch the Kevin O'Connor Show on Yahoo Sports Network, our first ever streaming TV channel. The Yahoo Sports Network is available to stream on all leading FAST services. We're also streaming live 24/7 on yahoosports.tv, where you can catch all of the shows on your phone or your browser. All right, got a special guest joining me today, an old friend, Iron, Call of Duty, Warzone, Battlefield 6, Battle Royale extraordinaire streamer, Iron. How you doing, man?
Good to be here with you. Thanks for inviting me. I'm stoked for this.
Appreciate you joining me, man. We've been friends for like 4 years now. You were really one of the people that got me back into playing Warzone, playing Call of Duty, getting back into streaming. You're the first streamer I really watched. It was you, then I think Breadman, and then starting watching Big Bob and Rallied, among others. And yeah, appreciate you getting me back into it, Iron. This past weekend, the past 2 weekends, Battlefield 6 came out with their beta. You were playing the hell out of that on your stream. So I want to talk about some of your first impressions of the Battlefield 6 beta. Tell me, how happy are you playing this game? What are your first impressions playing it?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, I've been a Call of Duty Warzone player for 4 years now, 5 years? And it started really, really well with the Modern Warfare 2019. They made a phenomenal game, and it's been kind of downhill for a few years. It's been a tough few. As far as playing video games go for a living, it's been a tough few years. So you put it into context there. But Battlefield 6, it feels like they put their soul into it. It's probably the best way to say it. You can just tell that everything was so well thought out, and the bones of the game are phenomenal. So it's going to be very difficult for them to screw up a Battle Royale. As far as Battlefield 6 goes, just create a more closer to PUBG, farther from Warzone type BR. The farther away from a one life game mode you get, the less interested I feel like a lot of players become, because that intensity that builds into the end game just dwindles if you can just die and get bought back 100 times like COD's current state. So, but the bare bones of the game are unreal. The immersiveness of Battlefield 6 is unlike anything I've ever played, really. It's a movie. I remember like playing that game, I think it was, both weekends really, but the first weekend, running down the street, bullets are whizzing over your head, the sounds are amazing, buildings are blowing up behind you, tanks, artillery's flying over your head, you're throwing smokes, diving on the ground. It's like, this game's a movie, man. It's unbelievable. So I'm very excited about the game, future of it, and the Battle Royale especially.
You mentioned the audio. I think that's one of the things I'm most encouraged by playing it, because, coming from Warzone where it feels like I'm deaf and I can't hear footsteps right next to me. And then I go to Battlefield and it's like, oh, wait a minute. There are planes and bombs and buildings crashing and I can still hear footsteps.
Yeah, right. It tried. Crazy.
Aside from the audio being quite good so far in the beta, what does have you impressed when it comes to you mentioned the bones of the game? What stands out? What qualities?
The movement in the last couple of years of COD, we've just kind of felt on skates. I know multiple times I've mentioned it feels like ice skating through sludge, the current Call of Duty movement. Like you're slick, but it's not precise. With Battlefield, everything is, I always feel in control of my character. I love that. The gun mechanics as well. Each gun, if you go back to Modern Warfare 2019, each gun was very unique, and had like a special sound, a special recoil pattern. These feel the same, where every single gun has its own uniqueness to it. The attachments matter. The bloom makes sense. Bloom is not something that I've been a huge fan of in past games, but it also increases your survivability drastically. So currently in COD, you run out in the middle of you try to cross the street 40 meters from somebody, and with the level of aim assist, you just get melted. Can't even move. They don't even have to, they could be a 50-year-old dad sitting on their couch playing on a 72-inch TV, and it just laser you, not miss a single shot. And in this game with the bloom, that's not the case. Your survivability goes up drastically, which I think increases the immersiveness for sure, and adds a level of suspense when you know that you can make it across. You get taken to 1 HP, bullets are flying behind you. Like, it's not just an instant death every single time that you cross the street. It's nice.
Well, that was the thing that I loved so much during the COD era of Iron Trials, whereas like with the slower TTK, it was just like it just, especially as fast as the TTK normally is in that game, it just feels more immersive. Longer battles, more intense battles. I mean, I think that was my peak of enjoying Warzone. And so I do think there's an element of that in Battlefield as well. As a controller player, I definitely did feel quite a bit less aim assist in Battlefield. So
you
mouse
use your right
key
thumb
players.
there, Kev.
I know. I think weekend 2, I started to get my controller settings dialed in a bit. I was feeling better shooting. I did some of the practice modes against the bots, and just to get the feel, get reps in, and it felt good. And I actually went back to Warzone after, and I felt like it helped me out having less aim assist in one game. I was shredding day 1, day 2 back on Warzone with the sticky aim assist on there. I think, when it comes to weekend 1, weekend 2, JGod posted a meme that, the Drake meme, you see the meme on screen. Battlefield 6 beta week 1, people were happy. Week 2, people weren't as happy. Why was this a thing? Like, did you sense this at all or experience this? Because I felt the same to me weekend 1 to weekend 2.
Yeah, I felt the same. I actually started playing PUBG the last couple of days of the weekend, even though Battlefield was available to play. I loved the game. I kept on having to tell people, like, why are you not on Battlefield? It's like, I love the game. It's a multiplayer. That's what I have to keep on reminding people. Like, there's only so much replayability when you have 4 maps, 5 at most, with really 2 enjoyable game modes. It's very limited. And then in those maps, you're playing the same type of ways. Like, really the breakthrough, I think, was the game mode. You either get stuck at A by a team that's way better than you, top to bottom, or you just roll through them and get stuck at certain points. And then after doing that 3-4 times, you're like, okay, I'm ready for a new experience. So it's multiplayer. It being a multiplayer and not a Battle Royale is really the only reason I feel like people were like, week 2.
Yeah, I've got a hard time playing any multiplayer at all. It's Battle Royale, and that's about it. I can't even play like single player games anymore. I can't. I tried playing Red Dead 2. I can't do it anymore. I hope I'm able to enjoy GTA 6 when that comes out. I'm sure I'll enjoy GTA. But Battle Royales are what I want to play, and that's why with Battlefield 6, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not like all the way optimistic because I got to see the way they actually execute the Battle Royale. And I mean, they talk about having like a firestorm, like there's going to be some differences, of course, from what we're used to the past 4 years with COD. But I do hope they take elements of, PUBG, watching you play that. But I'm hopeful. But there's no guarantees there. One thing I do want to ask you about, Iron, is like, how do you think the destruction of buildings is gonna change strategy when it comes to holding power spots in a Battlefield 6 Battle Royale?
That's what makes me most excited, actually. It changes everything that we think that we know about power positions in a Battle Royale. Like, typically, it's always been, well, especially with recons, do a couple recons, get to center position, set up, and then kind of go from there. But now, like, the plays that you're going to be able to make with people that are already in those power positions, or creating your own hardcover in fields with, like, tossing nades on the ground and creating, like, little foxholes, like, that changes absolutely everything. You don't need all the smokes in the world. Like Al Mazrah, that was just not a fun experience. If you don't have 15 smokes in the middle of the desert, you're just dead. That's no longer the case. So the destructible environments changes everything. And that's, people talk about tanks in the Battlefield VR. I believe that tanks are going to be like a confirmed thing. You're not going to be able, I would imagine, like, I don't have any insider information, but just like kind of going through it in my head, there's no way you're going to be able to just land on a tank, start driving around and murking everyone. It's probably going to have to be a contract that you do, and then a coordinated team. Like, if you just go to the multiplayer, it's very easy to kill a tank if you have 2 or 3 engineers. I would imagine it's going to be the exact same way in the VR, where if you see a tank rolling up from 500 meters out, you set up in some sneaky spots. As soon as it gets within 50 meters, everyone launches RPGs. You have C4 traps set. The tank's gone in 2 seconds. So I wouldn't really worry about tanks completely controlling the entire battlefield. I think that those will be more of a someone's in a strong spot. Like, let's say there's an extremely powerful building that everyone knows is power position. You see them there. Eventually in 4 minutes, you're going to have to take that building from them or move past it. You say, we're not taking this fight right now. We're going to go do the contract, get the tank, then come back with the tank and blow up that building. I think that's how tanks are going to be used in the VR. So being terrified of them being in one, it's not going to be a roll around, destroy everyone. It's going to be a destroy hardcover, blow through walls. That's how it's going to be utilized, I believe, in the Battle Royale.
I mean, I think that's one of the things I'm most excited about with it, with the potential of it, because when I watch streamers or when I play myself, like it's fun to run and gun and all that, but I love the strategic element most of these games, like picking the right rotation, having the right idea, choosing the right power position in order to optimize your chances of winning the game, deciding when to push, how to push, and everything else like that. And I think with Battlefield 6, I think their Battle Royale, once it's out, what is it, March 2026, it just seems to me it's going to be like a different levels, different layers to that, considering the nature of that game. I just, I think still like the map is going to matter. That's always going to matter. I think some of the little things that they add in there, like they do have COD devs that they hired that are running Battlefield 6, isn't going to be too much COD, or is it they're going to take elements from other games. It does feel like, though, with the game they came out with, some of the Battlefield truthers are like, well, this is too much like COD. I feel like the devs that they hired from COD have found a nice middle ground where it's a lot of Battlefield and a little bit of COD. Is there anything you're concerned about with it, Iron? Any worries after the beta?
Only thing that comes to mind is it's going to be a typical mouse and keyboard player complaining here. But there's been confirmed like less bloom on controller. That's been confirmed.
Really?
Less bloom on controller. And,
less bloom serious. On controller,
which is a big deal. I don't know. That's a big deal though. So it's gonna have to figure out
less aim assist and less bloom for controller players, and more bloom for mouse and key.
Yeah, the less bloom is a good thing for accuracy though. Less bloom is a really good thing for accuracy. So it still is like we'll see which advantage or which ranges, I guess, that less bloom is most noticeable. But that is kind of like a red flag that I'll wave right away. Also, like you mentioned it before, like it is possible for them to mess up the Battle Royale. And they did create Firestorm, EA, with Battlefield 5, I believe it was. And Firestorm's looting was, I thought, so bad that I didn't even give it a legit chance after a week. So that company has messed up a VR in the past. It is possible, but you were saying the COD dev that they brought in, he also made Apex, I believe, and Titanfall. So the dude really knows what he's doing.
Yes.
In Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone. So that gives me a ton of confidence. So a little worried, yes. Extremely optimistic, absolutely. Like this is the most hyped I've been for a game since Modern Warfare 2019, easily.
Do you think there's any chance, we were talking earlier about the Sixers, I'm continuing to trust the process. Do you have any trust remaining at all in Activision to save COD here? Like, do you think there's any chance they're stepping their game up?
Man, I've talked about this a little bit. Their best bet, I don't think that currently they have any trust from the player base. The trust is completely gone. It's kind of like a meme at this point. Like, you want to see what they're doing, just look at the store. They're not putting much effort into the game, but their creative department in the store is top tier. But sure like moving forward, it really is.
Store's always working, Iron, right? Store's always open.
They'll shut down the world if the store stops working. But I think their best path forward is to go back to their roots and what they used to do so well, which is make a very good multiplayer experience. Like growing up, Modern Warfare, the original one, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, I liked, there's so many good CODs that we can all list off here. And they were fun multiplayer experiences for whatever reason. In my opinion, since 2019, I know I'm not a big multiplayer fan, but I loved Modern Warfare 2019. They have just kind of, the quality's gone downhill. I think that they go back to the basics, make a good bare bones game. Don't focus on Warzone. Don't focus on Resurgence. Don't focus on an extraction mode. Do what you do best. Earn back the trust of the player base. Then in 2 years, when everyone's complaining about the Battlefield Battle Royale, inevitably, then they can come and be the saviors. Don't try to compete with a company who pumped $400 million into their game and is clearly trying to upend you. Like, they're not, I don't really feel like they're built for that type of competition right now. I think they go back to their roots, build back the trust slowly but surely, and then come back in a couple of years and come out with like a Blackout 2. That, I believe, is their best path forward.
It's a shame, man. I mean, when Verdansk came back, I felt like Warzone was back. Like the audio was, at least in my opinion, arguably better than ever, or at least better than it's been in many years. And it's like, don't touch the game. Don't touch it. No more updates. Don't touch it. Leave it as is. I'll play it forever. And then every update, the audio's gotten worse. Something's gotten screwed up. It's like, here we go again. It's such a bummer, man. The game, when Call of Duty Warzone's good, it's amazing. Yeah. But it's just, I don't know what they do, man, especially with the audio aspect. It just gets worse every single update.
They got to be so spread thin over there, like making sure that the game is functioning with all of the new like stuff they're adding from the store and all the new events. They have to be short on something to allow the audio to get worse and worse, and allow the bugs to get worse and worse. The hackers, same thing, like, because the stuff that they do focus on, the store, right? The events, all that stuff is always smooth. So you know that they know what they're doing in some regards. So I don't think they have enough manpower or something.
Yeah, man. I'm not sure if it's I don't know if it's that more incompetent or lack of bodies or some mixture of both, but I do know it's lack of bodies, that's for sure. But they launched great. Verdansk relaunched beautifully, so there's something there. It was awesome. Yep. There's something there, but we'll see if they can actually get back to that. With that said, though, I've been watching you almost for 4 years now. Have been, enjoyed many hours watching you play Warzone. I think one of my favorite Iron memories is the long win streak you went on after your daughter was born. How long was that win streak?
82 games in Caldera?
82. That was right after your daughter was born, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. right around that time period, yeah.
That's crazy. What's your favorite Warzone memory over the last 4 years?
Oh, there's so many good ones. Yeah, there's so many good ones. Definitely the very, very first tournament where we won the first ever Warzone tournament. We won the first ever game, and it was a prison end game, and we just played it textbook. No one stood a chance. Best players in the world.
Top 4 towers. Is that where you were?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right on top of prison. No one stood a chance. We picked everyone apart. Easy peasy. And then everyone, I remember after that first game, was just like, just give Iron the tournament right now. We ended up getting third. But that was an amazing memory, winning the very first Warzone game in the very first tournament ever. There's some funny enough, beating cheaters is some of the best memories. Just like absolute rage hackers with 70 KDs, shooting us through buildings for 10 minutes. Beating those guys is super satisfying. Screw those dudes.
Biggest losers on the planet.
Yeah, screw those dudes, man. But yeah, there's so many good memories. But I would have to say that one, winning the first game of the first tournament. Never forget that.
That's awesome. And to make it even better, I love a good prison ending. That's my favorite place for a prison ending.
It's the best.
Just stay top 4, snipe all game. It's fun.
With my claymores, I'm always safe.
It's the best. It is the best. And I still enjoy playing the game. I'm hopeful, not optimistic, but I'm hopeful that they're able to improve things. But at the least, March 2026, we get something very, very, very good to look forward to with Battlefield 6. Are you going to play a lot of Battlefield 6 multi until March 2026, or are you going to still be sticking with other games until then? Because I can't do multi. I can't.
Yeah. I'm going to treat it just like I treated Modern Warfare 2019, where I'm trying to master all of the mechanics. So learn all the guns, all the recoil patterns, all the maps, the building destruction, because as soon as the Battle Royale hits, I want to be able to jump right into it and not miss a single beat, not be fumbling over what's this do, how do I blow up this building, the weak points of the building. So I'll definitely be playing the multiplayer, but I'm not going to play it 70 hours a week. I'll probably put 20, 30, make sure that I really understand the mechanics, and then probably play a lot of PUBG, a little bit of Warzone, but PUBG, I'm a little superstitious with this. Before Modern Warfare 2019, I grinded PUBG, grinded it on PC. And I feel like my aim got significantly better. Have you ever played PUBG? There's no aim assist on controller. And if you try to shoot a 30 round mag in your AK, you have to pull down 5-6 inches on the mouse to control the recoil somewhat. A significant amount of skill is required. So I feel like me playing PUBG helps my mouse and keyboard skills the best, so that when Battlefield 6 hits, I'll be ready to hit the ground running.
You and I, usually I'm in chat. We're not talking face to face, talking NBA in your chat. I'm curious, Iron, what do you think right now? State of the Western Conference. Is there a team in like these non-playoff teams from last year that you're most excited to watch this coming season? I have a feeling I know who you're going to say, though.
Yeah, you already know. I mean, I'm a huge Wemby fan. Huge Wemby fan. I've been a LeBron fan for 20 years, and the last few years I've not really enjoyed his best, like watching him play as much, which is expected. I mean, he's in year 45. What are you going to do? But when Wemby came along, the Spurs finally putting the pieces around him, I'm very, very excited to see if they got the right roster and if he can make somehow another jump into a different stratosphere and become that top 5 MVP caliber every single year.
Before his career started, I said that I felt like year 3 for him would be his MVP season. I think it's probably 1 year too soon for that this year. The defense is there already. Offensively, it would have to be a massive leap. I just think with the Spurs roster, the guys that they have, the ball handlers that they have, it's probably more like a year or 2 from now. I don't think they're going to quite put the ball in his hands yet to be the primary creator with all the guys.
Yeah. You said it. Getting Dylan Harper, trading for Fox, like there's just so many. And then what Castle did with Wemby out last year, he became a primary ball handler at times and showed he could be a creator. So they have a lot of potential playmakers on that team. I'm interested to see what you think would be a potential lineup that would work with Fox, because when they got Fox, I loved the fit initially, but them getting the second pick with Harper, I was just the more I watch Harper, the more I fall in love with his game. He's so smooth. I could see him at the end of his first year being one of the perennial, like, best drivers to the basket in the NBA. He's so good with the ball in his hands. Then what do you do with Fox? So I'm just wondering what lineup do you think they could put together on the floor with all the weapons that they have and still utilizing Wemby at the level that they could, that would actually get them over that hump with Wemby taking that next step?
Like the optimal lineup with those 3 together, I think one of them is going to have to try to be like their new Manu Ginobili, like being like a super 6th man. Like you're able to stagger those guys rather than using all 3 of them at once. Unless there's a world in which like Harper becomes a knockdown guy, or Fox takes another leap as a shooter, or Castle, things click for him. And so I think having one of them, ideally his rookie year, it's easy to say, Harper, you're going to come off the bench this year and you're going to stagger as much as possible with Fox. I think having 2 of those guys on the floor for the Spurs this year, the objective is to take a step. It's to get into the playoffs. It's to be one of the top 8 seeds and to get those playoff reps for the young guys. So I think having Fox and Castle in the starting 5 together with as many shooters as possible at the 3 and 4 spots next to Wemby, I think is optimal. But long term, obviously you hope Harper becomes a star. It could become a good problem to have if you have all of those guys on the roster at once. But I just hope they put the right supporting pieces around him in the same way that we saw OKC do with SGA, where it's like they're loaded aside from SGA. And like the NBA puts the Spurs on Christmas Day against Oklahoma City. They're trying to push the Chet versus Wemby rivalry, trying to push OKC, San Antonio, but San Antonio is years behind what OKC already has. And I think with them, maybe there's also going to be like a little bit of they might miss Chris Paul a little bit, because Chris Paul and Wemby had instant chemistry. Fox and Wemby didn't.
Yeah, they were a net negative by a couple points, I believe, when they were on the floor together in the limited time that they had. But yeah, it's going to take a little bit for them to click. But I guess that's probably kind of expected as well.
Sure,
we'll do what they can do.
I think of those non-playoff teams in the Western Conference, the Mavericks, they're probably the one that like has a chance to take the biggest leap. Obviously, of course, they trade Luka, they get Anthony Davis, but they still have a really good team on paper. And then they luck out and they get Cooper Flagg.
Luck out is the understatement of the century. My goodness.
Do you think there's any chance, Iron, that Nico
Unreal.
Harrison is proven right. Any chance of it.
There's definitely a chance. There's definitely. I mean, his job might have been saved by that 1% chance. Holy cow! I've been big on Flagg since I saw him in high school. I remember saying on stream as soon as he signed to Duke, I was like, if you're a betting man, put money on Duke for the national championship right now. I was a little off, but still, like he just influences winning in every single way. You could put Flagg on any team in the NBA, and I feel like he's an instant contributor to that team winning basketball. So you put a healthy AD, a healthy Kyrie, if they're on the floor together in the playoffs and playing as well as they can, even both of them in their 30s at this point, that's prime nowadays. So with Flagg kind of rounding that corner at the end of his rookie year, they could be a dangerous team come playoff time if they peak at that right time for sure. Huge Flagg fan.
Definitely. I mean, Flagg's awesome. He's a New England boy like me. So I love him, especially for that reason, from Maine. But I think with Flagg, man, you mentioned, there's no questions. I think he's going to be a productive rookie. I think I have no questions. He's going to be a productive defensive player. He knows where to be and when to be on defense. Offensively, he developed his shot last year at Duke. He became a 80+% guy from the free throw line, became a near 40% guy from three. I have no questions about his ability to hit spot up jumpers and to attack closeouts and just play in different roles, plug and play. I think with Dallas, it's kind of the opposite, where it's the question with them is, what are the stars going to look like? You have Kyrie Irving out with a torn ACL right now. You have AD. You're saying if you get healthy AD's been healthier in recent years for the Lakers, but then last year he has the major injury. He has this dominant first half with the Mavericks, and then he's knocked out for almost the remainder of the season. And there's no guarantee with any big, on the wrong side of 30. And with AD, that's a big question. But I think Nico made a dumb decision trading Luka. That I think it's a dumb decision, period. But I think you can hold that opinion of him while also acknowledging that I get what he's going for. I get what he's going for with this big, long-armed, positionless defense. You saw it last year with 80 out there with Derek Lively and PJ Washington and Klay Thompson around Kyrie. That's a big freaking team. And so I think with them, they could be dominant defensively. And if Kyrie comes back healthy, if Flagg is really good as a rookie, if D'Angelo Russell holds down the fort in the time that Kyrie's out,
sure.
There's a chance they're really, really good, man. They could be top 4, top 5 seed, but it's just so many ifs. It's so many ifs, and there's so many teams in the West that you have more certainty about.
I had a question for you as far as the Eastern Conference non-playoff teams, kind of like we asked on the West side. Anyone that you think stands out that can make a major leap? What big addition that they made, or someone ready to take that next step?
It might be silly to say. A lot of people probably, might roll their eyes when I say it, but I'm excited to watch the Sixers, man. I still love Joel Embiid. I still believe in Joel Embiid. I think the roster around him just makes all the sense in the world.
Trust the process,
I'm still trusting the process. I've been burned so many times, but I'm still trusting the process. Maybe I shouldn't trust it anymore, but I just think the Sixers young players are so freaking good, man. Jared McCain was so good as a rookie before he got hurt. This year draft VJ Edgecombe. It feels like he makes sense next to Tyrese Maxey, who's emerging as an all-star caliber player. If Paul George can have a bounce back year, big if. If Joel Embiid can stay healthy, big if. I don't see why the Sixers can't be one of the contending teams in this wide open, weak Eastern Conference. It's just these big, massive ifs. I just think maybe it's just my upbringing, Iron, as a Boston sports fan. But when I was growing up, I'm born in 1990. When I'm growing up, the Patriots were called the Patsies. The Celtics hadn't won since the 80s, and they had a miserable 90s. The Red Sox hadn't won when I'm growing up for over 80 years, Curse of the Bambino. And then boom, it turns into decades of winning. Everybody won championships. Even the New England Revolution won championships. It wasn't just the big four with the Celtics, Patriots, Red Sox, and Bruins. The Revolution even won for that matter too. It was just decades of winning. And so all that to say, like for Sixers fans, they've just been miserable for so long. And so there's part of me with my upbringing that feels like, well, even though things are bad, it doesn't mean that they can't become good. And so I'm hopeful that Sixers fans get to at least get through round 2 of the playoffs for once during the Joel Embiid era. Am I crazy to still be trusting the process, Iron?
I don't think so. I have a similar type story and upbringing. I was a Detroit Lions fan. So I watched every single game of that 0-17 season, every one. And then now all of a sudden we're winning, we got a chance at a Super Bowl. So I'm big on Embiid as well. I like him quite a bit. I've been saying this for a while. A healthy Embiid, on the offensive end especially, is nearly unstoppable. Get him to the playoffs healthy, like 100%, and let's see what he can actually do. Because if he's rolling into the playoffs healthy, he'll just drop 40 and 50 all day long like he does in the regular season. If he would have been MVP, last year, 2 years ago? If he would have played as many games as he needed to, he was unstoppable.
Yeah, but it's just such a big if. He's never been. He wasn't healthy when he entered the NBA. He hasn't been healthy throughout. I just hope he doesn't go down as one of those great players that just never could stay on the floor. But I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful he can have one of those years. That's all it takes. Just 1 year staying healthy, and your team has a chance. Appreciate you joining me today, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Thanks for always hanging out, for having me here. Very grateful for this. You're awesome, man.
Appreciate it, Aaron. Have a good day, man.
You as well.